The Maple Grove Fairgrounds has hosted the Seneca County Fair since 1882, when the Seneca County Agricultural Society purchased the property. It also hosted horse racing and automobile racing during the early 20th century. And from 1953 until 1977, stock car racing returned to the fairgrounds, which took on the name Maple Grove Speedway.
The rebirth of Maple Grove Speedway, also called Waterloo Speedway, started when car owner Don Bickle and driver Don Jarvis met for coffee at Bob Rogers' Vandemark Diner in September 1953. The three decided to try to promote stock car racing at the fairgrounds and eventually formed the Waterloo Stock Car Racing Association. The first race took place on October 2, 1953. The racing was well received by fans and drivers alike and continued over the next 24 years. The track was dangerous because of the old horse hub rails and the narrow surface and the large maple trees next to the outer rail from turn 1 to turn 4 that gave the racetrack and the fairgrounds their name. Over the years, however, WSCRA and the Fair Board worked together to improve the facilities and make the track better for auto racing. The first race cars were indeed stock cars. The body, motor, and frame had to match the make of the car. By the end of the 50s, though, the cars became modified with various changes in the bodies and the motors. That prompted WSCRA to create a modified flathead division for the new type of cars and a late model division for the stock cars. Some of the most well-known drivers to hit the track at Maple Grove included Bill Wee Willie Allen, Cliff Kateri the Copper City Cowboy, Screaming Sammy Reeks, Red Beardsley, Glenn Reiners, and Johnny Fireball Roberts. The village of Waterloo itself boasted at least 20 drivers who made their presence known at their hometown track. The rise and the fall of Maple Grove Speedway came when overhead valve V8 modifieds started showing up to chase the big money purses and longer length races in Waterloo. With the bigger motors and faster cars came louder noise, and neighbors started to complain and petition the village board for help. Racing stopped at the end of 1971, but then races ran during 1976 and 1977. After that, however, came the end of Maple Grove Speedway. The most successful racer to come out of Waterloo and Maple Grove Speedway in terms of advancing to the NASCAR circuit is Magic Shoes Mike McLaughlin. Ironically, McLaughlin's first race at Maple Grove Speedway, in a dirt track modified in 1977, was the track's last race as it closed for good at the end of the season. From there, though, he raced at dirt tracks in Weedsport, Canandaigua, and around the area, and then the pavement at Oswego Speedway and around New England. Next, McLaughlin turned to the NASCAR Modified Tour, where he won the 1988 championship and then won several NASCAR North Series races before climbing the ladder to the NASCAR Busch Series. In the Busch Grand National Series, McLaughlin competed in 314 races, and a number 34 race car often sponsored by local company Gould's Pumps, and won 6 of them. He even ran in 2 NASCAR Winston Cup Series races, including one at nearby Watkins Glen International. In an essay, McLaughlin remarked that throughout his NASCAR racing career, it seemed as if his middle name was Mike and his first name was from Waterloo, New York. And that's okay with me, he wrote, because Waterloo is a place which holds so many memories for me. If you want to learn more about this and other local history topics, stop by the Waterloo Library and Historical Society.